Hi. You see me? Yes, I see you nodding. Hi, I see you, Netta. I need some better glasses maybe to really recognize you. Okay, so this is the first session of 3 short sessions about what's going on in education at TU Delft. So I have 2 messages. And I will give these messages as the academic director of the Teaching Academy. So I'm not only hosting this day or cheerleading the sessions, but I also have a function here for people who don't know me. And the first message is that I can actually interact with you. So now I see Rob and Joannetta talking together while I'm speaking. So it is possible to have a connection with people when you're actually not in the same room. And I'm here now at the New Media Studio talking to you, and hopefully maybe after my short session, when you have some questions, I will also be able to reply to them. That's an audio question also. But the main reason I'm standing here on this in the speaker's corner is to let you know that since September, the executive board made a decision to actually start a new initiative, the initiative on innovation in Delft engineering education. Now that doesn't sound so new because we're all involved with education, all with innovation, and all very much engaged with that. But this initiative is actually a program which is going to last for at least 5 years. It's a 4.2 million program. So what's going to happen there? Now, I hope that on the screens, because that I don't see, you actually see now a, yes, thank you. Thanks for telling me, a visual. So let me explain what is this visual. So on the lower part, you see blue, Delft blue, like a sea. It's all our education, so Delft engineering education. In this Delft engineering education, we all know there are some challenges, still unsolved challenges, educational challenges that we see TU-wide. So of course, you all have some challenges in your own teaching, in a course, in a program, but also on a university level, we see there are challenges that need a combined effort to innovate and also implement solutions. And this program will now, we are now in the phase of identifying these challenges. This is where you also come in. If you have any ideas about main challenges that you face and that you think might help us improving our education even more, please send an email to teachingacademy@TU Delft and it will reach us, me in this case. And we are already talking to stakeholders like the directors of education, our partners like the 4TU Center for Engineering Education, also with the LDE Center for Education and Learning, to collect what their ideas are. What could be such a challenge, for instance? How do we promote autonomous learning of students? How can we achieve a better learning retention and make the students more successful? This kind of questions you can think of. Now, what is going to happen when we identified such an educational challenge? We are looking also for staff, academic staff, who is passionate about education and who would like to work on such a challenge. So these are the 5 people you see on top of the part where the challenges go to. And this is a team of, say, a leader and some other people from different faculties. And then this is where the program part comes in. From the executive board, the program provides you with a PhD candidate and a postdoctoral researcher with a psychology or education psychology background, who really is going to help us design the innovations, but also the research towards how effective the innovation will be while implementing it. So this is what you see in the cube. There's a part where we do research, And there's the part where we do the innovation. And then what comes out of it are innovations for our education that will be implemented. And then, of course, like in the usual design cycle, we'll go back and will be evaluated. And this program will, so as I said before, we will start with 3 big challenges and increase until 5. And then we will evaluate again what it's like. Not that everything is solved then, of course. Is this idea, because it's called idea, ED, for me, it's already for a long time in my head. I've been working with a lot of people. Is it clear to the people in the room? Are there questions? Because I think there's a microphone that might help us understand each other. Yes. Is there a question there somewhere or remark? No. Oh, yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Marcel from the library.
Yep.
Well, my question is actually more of a practical nature. It was just not completely clear to me what is the scope of this program. You mentioned 5 challenges, but does that mean then that you work with 5 set of teachers, and then you mentioned PhD postdoc? Like, does it mean that it's just, yeah, then that's
Each challenge, yes, each challenge will have one team and also one team of researchers. And then the nice thing is that, of course, these teams will interact with each other and meet each other in kind of intervision-like meetings in the teaching lab. Okay. But yeah, they are separate. Yeah.
And I'm also just wondering, so the title of the program is Innovation in Delft Engineering Education. So I assume then at the end of the program you arrive at some kind of conclusions or findings about how you can innovate education. What is your idea about, I don't know, scaling up these findings or practices that or conclusions that you arrive at the end of the program?
Well, the idea is that we already start at more than one faculty level, so that we try to create innovations and framework for innovations that will be applicable to other settings. And there's also an aspect of sharing our findings and also maybe organizing some conferences where we can also get input from other universities. Does that answer your question?
Great, thanks very much.
Great, thanks. Anybody else? I think we have some time. No. I don't hear anybody. Okay, so maybe we can go to the next session. But there's one thing I want to say. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I can tell you this is probably the most transparent image that you get from me today and for the rest maybe of my life. So enjoy the rest of the sessions. See you later.
We have been working the last months with a group of people on how do we teach and how do we learn in this university and what is good teaching and what is good learning. And we have board of professors and the board of this university, and that's several times, and every time with a new questions and new discussions about what is good teaching and what is good learning. And the conclusion was that in the center of good teaching and good learning is growth. So we regard growth as one of the most important points. And what we mean with growth is that, of course, we teach mathematics and physics and software engineering and multi-actor analysis and all kinds of theories to the students. But we are happy and we are proud of the students when they incorporate it and when they apply it. So if we have a bachelor final project and we see that they have applied their mathematics and their physics and their multi-actor analysis in a certain problem, and then we see, okay, they came in as pupils from the secondary school, and now they can solve themselves problems and know how to approach things. So that is growth that we want to see with our students. And I got a letter, small letter, so I got a box with brownies from a student. And she graduated this summer, and last week I got a short letter that she thanks me, that she had such a wonderful time, when she did her graduation work, that she grew and that I supported her in the beginning, in the lockdown, when she was in France doing her work there separately, and how she then matured. So, and that makes me extremely happy if you get such a letter from students that they say, we were growing. But it's also for the teachers. We have then the job interviews, and when we have these job interviews with new tenure trackers, then they give a lecture, and it's always so poor. Oh, not always. In your case, not. But in the cases that I attended, and then if you look at these people 3 years later when they did UTQ, then you see they were really growing. They now know how to supervise students, how to design a course, how to do interactive teaching, and so on. So we see the growth with the teachers, and we are proud of it. And a little bit disappointed when I look here at all the people, because I wonder if you were still growing last years as a teacher. So probably something to think about. So growth is in the center also of this picture that you can see there. And then we said, what is then typically Delft? So what characterizes the Delft engineer? And the first is proactive. So we had several other words, autonomous, can do. Monica Roeling, she's here in the corner, but she's very important. She is bringing sustainability to all the master and bachelor programs of this university. So please get in contact with her. She's from Eindhoven, and she's now walking around here 2 months, and she says, this is really a can-do mentality in this university. Amazing. From Eindhoven, so we think. So that is something that we like. That our students do something. They are proactive. They are also working in green teams or in dream teams or in other gremia. And the second thing that we like with our students is that they are resilient. So we see there a person passing the river. I have an MSc student. He is at this moment in the hospital, and he gets an operation to remove some tumor out of his head. And yesterday he called me and he asked me for a new paper that he wanted to read. And I said, well, you have something else to do? Yes, but he said, then I will recover and then I will take it up again. Well, that is quite extreme, but we like it that when our students have problems and they suffer a little bit from this or that they go on and they make it ready. So that is resilient. And then the third point that came out of all the meetings that we should consider is responsible. And in these days, I'm doing all the exams of the joint interdisciplinary project that are master students. And then there are 50 companies involved, and they say, well, on the ethics part, it is still not so perfect. So we should really improve there, so that our students know what ethics are and that they become responsible engineers. So these are the 3 points that came out of all the sessions, and there are, of course, more points. And what we want to ask you is to scan the QR code that will appear later on, and then you can do that with your phone and type some other words or comments that come into your mind when you think about teaching and learning. Thank you. There is room for a question. Yeah?
I will take it to you.
It's not a very serious question, but I was just wondering, what is your own biggest growth moment from last year?
So actually, I prepared this lecture or this short talk, and then I thought I should admit that as a teacher, I didn't grow so much the last years, so that is not a growth moment. Where I grew the last time is in particular in interdisciplinary learning. So people from different disciplines, they bringing them together and teach them, so you're from this discipline and you're from that discipline, teach them how to cooperate and how to understand each other. Because we have our students here, they were in the same class at secondary school, and then 4 years later, they cannot understand each other because one talks physics and the other talks industrial design, and they have completely different languages. So bringing them together, that is my growth moment. More. I'm so happy that everything was so clear. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, can you all hear me also in the back there? Yeah, I'm standing here on this box, and it's called Short Plenary Sessions, but in the working title of the session was the Soapbox Session. So I'm standing on a soapbox, and my task is to sell you my marvelous type of soap. It retains all your colors, it makes and even make them brighter, etc., etc. Now, just joking, I'm here to speak on behalf of the working group on freedom of choice and interdisciplinarity. There was a working group which was instituted last November, last year, by the executive board of the university, and we were tasked to develop an implementation of one of the things we want to change in the educational program in the master. We want to give students a bit more freedom there, but also more or less force them to work on interdisciplinary topics. And what the working group has been doing, a couple of people from the university under the leadership of Hellendoorn, who cannot be here today, we developed a system is that we can free the 5th quarter in the master program. That means the 1st quarter of the 2nd master year. More or less all programs are already suited for freeing that quarter. So we can free 15 credits for students to work on interdisciplinary topics. You can say it's going to look a little bit like what we do in the minor, but it comes with a couple of restrictions, a couple of more restrictions than you would see in the minor. Basically, it's the educational management team of an individual educational program who decides what is and what is not allowed in this freedom of choice area. We're going to work with a so-called menu model. There is a menu, and on the menu there is a number of courses students can choose from. Let me take an example from my own faculty, the Faculty of Aerospace Engineering. There we will free the 5th quarter starting next year. And on the initial menu there's going to be an internship in industry or in a research institution or another university somewhere else in the world, or the joint interdisciplinary project. But I would expect that in a couple of years there's more offer being coming, and then we can add things. For instance, I'm looking for something on entrepreneurship. I would like to add that to the menu. And every faculty, starting from next year, will slowly but steadily introduce this freedom of choice for students for a block of 15 credits within limitations, to make that possible. So what I would like to challenge you for is to come up with brilliant ideas to put in those 15 credits, which are interdisciplinary, which are suited not only for your own students, but also for students from other faculties. And if you have such an idea, and I'm absolutely convinced that you do have these kind of ideas, the first step is to go to your own educational management team to see whether they think, okay, this is okay, or not okay. And then you can start developing. And the good news is there is money available for that. Rob was so kind, he's standing there, to offer us 200,000 euros for a 2-year period for this development program. So if you have some expensive ideas, well, maybe there's a chance you get some money as well. Okay, once you have developed this, you can start selling this to other faculties, and you must then convince the educational management team of the other faculties to put it on their menu. And as Director of Education of the Aerospace faculty, I'm really looking forward to adding more courses on our menu, because now it's a 2-course menu, and that's a bit meager. I want at least a 4-course menu. But that's what we're going to do. So thank you very much for the attention. And any questions, please come.
Joris.
Yes.
Joris, yes.
Yes,
Joris.
I can hear you.
Yes.
No panic, no panic.
What if you have two colleagues, one from architecture, one from aerospace, one from industrial design, and the three of us have an idea for an inter-faculty interdisciplinary? We go to our three directors of education, or do we go to you?
You can come to me, but I would definitely also talk to the others to make it a real thing which is carried by all the other faculties.
And then two agree and one doesn't agree.
Well, you need to get it on the menu of all these separate faculties. So, effectively, they all need to agree in the end, and maybe it will not be on the menu of the one who doesn't agree yet, but if you have a nice course, they will agree later. They will hear by word of mouth that the course is nice, and we'll put it on their menu as well.
There's always my mailbox.
Thank you very much. I have a question too, because early this morning we were discussing exactly about this program. So let's say the Faculty of Architecture and the Built Environment, that's 5 courses on the menu. Mm-hmm. These are all from other faculties, necessarily. It's not that something that can be suggested by an architectural colleague will be also for students of architecture.
That will be fine with me, but basically the idea is that we introduce interdisciplinarity into the program.
Okay.
So if it's only consisting of architectural engineering courses.
So it's better to be addressed elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Interdisciplinarity is key here.
Thank you.
Over there.
Is the idea that we force/strongly suggest to students that they have to do something interdisciplinary in the 5th quarter, or do we take student choice seriously and do we also allow them to take any elective they want? So is it about offering additional opportunities for interdisciplinarity, which I would love, or is it restricting students to interdisciplinarity, which I would advise against?
Well, it depends on how the rest of your program looks like, but this is dedicated 15 credits for interdisciplinary course material.
That's not answering my question.
Well, maybe you need to rephrase it then.
Are all the students expected to do interdisciplinary stuff in quarter 5, or is this a project that is offering additional opportunities for those students who want to?
Both, I would say. Both, I would say. It's there anyhow for all students. And some faculties already do have interdisciplinary courses, more than others. Some have more monodisciplinary courses. But this quarter is freed for that interdisciplinary parts, for a total of 15 credits.
Yes, I know that. It still doesn't answer my question.
Okay, maybe we need to talk a bit later. Other questions? Here, this side.
Has there been thought about trying to integrate ways so that the third-year bachelor students and their minor and master students together would do something to get the sort of range across education periods?
We have not considered that. We want this to be at master level, so we've not considered integrating that. But maybe there can be follow-on project if you have a larger project where bachelor students can work on and also some parts are at master level. I wouldn't say no to that. But we haven't thought that.
But are ideas on this welcome to connect HBO, MBO, WO, bachelor master students in an interdisciplinary project in connection to practice?
Yeah, we are now preparing a pilot where we have JIP students together with bachelor final project students from Rotterdam, because they are in the same time and they have also 15 EC. So then we have in every team probably one student from Rotterdam who is a bachelor student.
Well, there's your answer.
Hello. Hi. How do we measure interdisciplinary program success?
That's up to the educational management team of the respective faculties. They will have to judge this, and they will also need to monitor this. So in the decision of the executive board, it also says there has to be an implementation team, and it also has to be monitoring the progress. So I guess that just like what we do in the minor programs, every so many years there will be an evaluation in which we say, does it meet all the requirements, or, well, it needs improvement. So there will also be monitoring going on.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm from Delft Center for Entrepreneurship, and we have already a dozen of entrepreneurship courses as an elective to different faculty, offered to different faculties. Do we need to do anything for that, or do we have to, like, are these courses need to be integrated to the first quarter of the second year, or?
What we have in the system, what we will have in the system, is that the 5th quarter is available for making offerings. So if you have a module, a group of courses which totally groups to 15 credits, and is being taught in Q5, or the first quarter of the academic year, then you can go to the different faculties and ask it to put it on their menu. So that's you need to group it, and you need to position it in the right moment of the academic year.
They need to be grouped. Okay.
It has to be one thing of 15 credits, and we don't want to have all kind of separate things. It must be interdisciplinary. So I expect at least some sort of project work will be involved in there, or yeah, maybe other things. We leave that to your creativity, I would say.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Caroline Weerman from Communication Design for Innovation. Our master program is interdisciplinary, as you probably know. We have a lot of experiences with those courses, and we would like to share our insights and experiences. So,
okay, well, thank you very much for that offer. Going once, going twice. Do you want to sell my soap?
Maurits, I'm going to try. Are Joris. Are faculties allowed in this quarter 5 also to offer monodisciplinary courses in addition to the interdisciplinary program?
No, this is really for
no. The answer is no.
Interdisciplinary course packages.
Program decision.
It's a program decision.
It's a program decision.
But the all the way in the back there. Yeah, but can you take the microphone because it's also being recorded, and your question might be very important.
Hi, yes. Can you hear me? Okay. I study clinical technology, which is an interdisciplinary study in itself. How does that work? Because do we have to, take interdisciplinary courses with other faculties from the TU Delft, or can it also be just medicine kind of subjects?
Well, it's the educational management team of your faculty who will decide which is going to be on the menu. So you have to go to your educational management team to ask, how are we going to solve this? Okay, I will. Because I cannot decide for them.
Maybe because I hear some questions and I feel that there's a little bit of miscommunication. So for this project that you are sandboxing, soapboxing. The idea is that there can be people who say we want to develop an interdisciplinary project and they can teach it in Q5. But I think that it's up to the program whether they offer it. And for example, for our new data science and artificial intelligence technology master in Q5, we have the space for students to choose free electives or interdisciplinary projects, depending on what they want. So I think that is the main answer to some of the questions. You can offer both and you can do both as a student, but it's nice that there is a good offering of interdisciplinary projects, 15 EC modules, right? That's
the idea is that there is going to be more and more offerings for interdisciplinary set of courses, blocks of programs, whatever you would like to call it, projects.
But they're not mandatory for students.
It depends what is available, because it's the educational management team of faculty who decides what's going to be on the menu. It's not as free as in the minor program where students can choose from the offerings. There's a much shorter list of menus available, of course, available on the menu. Any more? Going once, going twice. If not, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your lunch.
I'm back again. And I would like to thank the New Media Center for supporting me
in talking to you as a hologram. It was quite a funny and exciting experience. So maybe I can try to teach sometime like this as well. I'd like to thank Hans to give us some insights in the new vision on teaching and learning, and Joris for the presentation of the choice and interdisciplinarity in the master program. And now you also know from my small talk that we are going to do some more research-based innovation in education. But the rest of the day is still ahead of us, so you can now all go to your sessions. Hopefully they're on your sticker. Otherwise, people can help you find where to go. After the session, there's still, again, a gathering in the teaching lab, because this hall is, again, will be refurnished for the award session. And there will be a longer break with some music and tea, etc. But after these sessions, so have fun again. Thanks.